Good morning. Monday, June the 15th, 2020. And here in the UK especially, there's a lot of lockdown restrictions being lifted. And a lot of retail shops are getting open today. So if you are part of that sector, then I wish you all the best. And if you are watching this after your day, hopefully you've had a successful day and a very weird and wonderful day at the same time. So today is Mapping Monday, and I have my theme on a Saturday, which is sidestepping, and Tuesdays there's a tracking Tuesday, and I seem to link a lot of my themes together for the sake of developing an absolute army of tools, soldiers, resources in order for your health to be in wealth. And that is the objective of the TrainWise platform. And hopefully the information that I kind of give gets you there. So today, mapping. Let's look at the word mapping and the definition, the description, the explanation, and the meaning of mapping is there is a corresponding link between domain and range. Now, that may seem the same as a visual, as a visualization. So you maybe think, well, mapping is very much like visualization. Very much no, but much yes, because visualization is more to do with a vision far beyond your scope. It's much more to do with horizons, where you want to be. Mapping is about getting there. It's about the process of it. So it's about linking the domain to the range. And with mapping comes a lot of mind manipulation. It comes with a lot of mind manipulation. And there's a lot of M's that I'm going to drop right now. As well as dropping a lot of M's, I'm going to drop a lot of resource knowledge as well on how I filter my own personal knowledge and how I get to top up my knowledge cap and fuel my vessel in order to deliver just some optimal fuel that hopefully you will be consuming. So going back to the mind manipulation method, there are many methods, but let's home in on a few. So the one method is meditation. And like I said, I'm going to be taking it a little bit off key here, a little bit sidestepping from the actual subject, but I'll get right back onto it because everything hopefully will link because of the domain and because of the range. Now, meditation. I'm going to give you past experiences of meditation. And like I said, I'm going to be dropping some resource knowledge bombs. So I used to have an app, which I'm sure that many of you have got, which is called Headspace. And it's about meditation. And when you first purchase it, you go on a trial and it's like starts at 1 minute going towards 10, 15, and then you start subscribing for more. And I'd just like to interject right there because at the moment, in the pandemic that we find ourselves in, the owners, the CEO is doing a wonderful thing, and that's in the States especially. I'm not sure about Europe, but they're giving the app for free for a whole year for all the key workers, all the healthcare workers, and those that are finding themselves in real financial difficulty, and just got to go on their website and then fill a few details in apparently, and then you're on. So that's wonderful, and I praise them for that. And I thought that the appraisal is needed, so the reciprocity is needed right here. So well done, Headspace. And so I was on Headspace. It was a couple of years ago. And it never connected with me. The brain was just too busy. And I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that. And it's all about trying it and really homing in on it. Okay. Well, for me, every time that I went to listen to it, I fell asleep. It just got me in such a zen mood that I fell asleep. So I kind of missed the process of the meditation. It was just like, right, if you want a 1 minute nap, go on the app. If you want a 10-minute nap, go on the app. And it was like a bit of a waste of my time. But then when the app was taken away, so once it got deleted off my phone, I found that my character was somewhat different. And it was my subconscious reaching my conscious and knowing that I was actually present at that time. And that presence gives you that backing up process. It's the backing up. So why am I talking about Headspace? Because, again, the resource knowledge bombs. I listen to a podcast, and the podcast is called How I Built This. And the guy that is the narrator on it, the interviewer, a guy called Guy Raz. I just love the way that he interviews people. It's just wonderful. And he was interviewing the CEO and the co-founder of Headspace. And he's that British dude with British accent, and his really, really mellow voice, beautiful. And he was speaking, I felt like sleeping as I was listening to it. And now I've said about dropping some bombs. He dropped such a knowledge bomb in that interview. One that just, epiphany, enlightenment, empowerment, right there and then, in one sentence. He said when he was learning and being taught the art of meditation from the monastery that he was part of, he would say that his teacher would pull him back and say, the idea is to not release yourself of thought. The idea is to pull back on the thought. Because there's so many thoughts that go into our head. As you know, I can't, off the top of my head now, I'm not going to tell you how many thoughts that we go through during the day. However, it's a lot. And to filter that out for a 10-minute stretch, no, that's not going to happen, is it? That may be why people have such a problem with meditation and not being able to get into that Zen-like mood, because they think, right, I've got to release everything. You really can't release everything. You can't. You have to pull back. So pulling back gave me a thought. Okay, so you pull back on that, and then you've got area for map, because then you can start mapping out what you want to be doing, so much like a task list. So that mapping links me back to my business, and my business being a nutritional coach, and the mapping. So where we have the domain and we link it with the range, very, very important. So it's like tracking. So remember I told you that I've got a tracking Tuesday, very much like tracking. However, it's about mapping and not visualizing. So what you would do, you would pull back. So today, the restrictions of the lockdown are being raised. So more and more people going back to work. However, they may have bypassed their nutrition for today. They have not even thought about their foods. All they're thinking about is getting the doors open, getting ready for their customers and serving. But they've got to serve themselves. And how would they map that out? So those that are opening the retail shops, now, mind mapping their meals. So they've got their meal in the morning if they've had it, but then they would think, right, well, I'm going to open up, and we're going to try and have like a break at 11. And then after 11, we're going to go for about 1:30. So bring some meals with me. So prepare the meals for that. There's a little deli on the side. There's a little supermarket that I can go to. So you kind of map it all out. And then that map, that gives you encouragement that you find that things are actually starting to connect. And that connects because you've pulled back. You haven't got full steam. So instead of you just getting your keys, getting in the car, getting on the train, whatever you got to do to get to your place of work, to open the door, you're thinking about how you're going to be fueling yourself to do that and throughout the day to keep you going. That's mapping. So that's getting you the domain and then connecting it with the range. It's not visualization. And it's not tracking either, because you're not doing nothing after. You're just thinking in your head. And then after, if you like that, then you can start mapping. And what's the best way of mapping? What's the best way of mind mapping? Well, it's kind of paradoxical, because mind mapping needs some scribing. It needs some actual realistic writing to be happening, journaling to be happening. Because once you journal, it maps out in your head and it formulates a blueprint, formulates a plan, formulates a habit. There's a couple of wonderful, wonderful books out there. And I said that I'm going to be dropping the resources bombs. James Clear, he wrote a book called Atomic Habits. Wonderful book about habits. And what we don't know about formulating habits, we will know after that book. There's an awesome development book by Rob Moore. It's called Routine Equals Results. All of these things, they're in line with your outcome. And it's exactly what I said in the beginning. Everything is linked within the TrainWise business. And I think that everything is linked within business in itself in order to deliver optimum service. And mind mapping is of optimum service.